Hello guys, welcome back. Now today we're going to be talking about the Montreal Canadiens and them interested in offer sheeting Patrik Laine and Brayden Point. After offer sheeting Sebastian Aho, the Montreal Canadiens as of now don't look to be done quite yet. Both Patrik Laine and Brayden Point have been linked to Montreal, so will we see the Habs offer sheeting either one or possibly both? Watch till the end to find out. The Montreal Canadiens were the first team to open the offer sheet floodgates, trying to get Sebastian Aho from the Carolina Hurricanes. We all know how that ended up. The Hurricanes ended up matching that offer, and the Hurricanes went without Sebastian Aho. But right now, it doesn't seem like they're nearly done, and we could see another gigantic move come from them, especially in the next couple of days. It might have seemed obvious that Montreal would go after a guy like Mitch Marner and try to get his services, but right now the Montreal Canadiens are taking a different approach when it comes to the RFAs that are available. You got Patrik Laine, you caught, of course, Brayden Point being the much better overall player, but still two fantastic players, scoring-wise for sure. The Montreal Canadiens could definitely use. You got Brayden Point, who's a center, you got Sebastian Aho, who was a center too. Patrik Laine would also be a decent fit, would definitely fix that power play, especially if it gets going. But Montreal being interested in either of those two aren't surprising, and it could definitely, realistically, actually happen. Now again, with $7.4 million in cap space, they don't have a ton of room to work with, but I definitely do expect to see some trades and some moves, especially if Montreal wants to get an offer sheet finalized and actually wants to give one out to either of these two guys. Now, we got a big report from Elliotte Friedman, pretty much the most reliable source out there for NHL news. He ended up saying the Montreal Canadiens did give an offer sheet to Brayden Point very recently. Probably in the last couple of days, maybe even yesterday, who knows. But it was confirmed that the Montreal Canadiens did give an offer sheet to him. We don't know the term, we don't know the contract, but we do know that he ended up declining that offer to stay in Tampa Bay. Now, he would have heard us a lot sooner if Brayden Point actually accepted the deal. Just like the Sebastian Aho situation, we got some rumblings that Sebastian Aho was linked to Montreal, but not too much until the Montreal Canadiens Twitter account themselves tweeted out that they did actually offer sheet Sebastian Aho and that he did match that offer too. And that is big news, obviously. But with Brayden Point, Montreal did offer sheet him, but he didn't end up accepting. And that's why we didn't hear about it probably until a couple days later because of that. Obviously, Brayden Point wants to stay in Tampa Bay, but it's pretty interesting to see what contract they might have given him. And I would assume it was a pretty beefy contract for what Montreal had cap space-wise. Now, if I had to guess, I would say Montreal's offer sheet was probably in the $8 to $9 million range. I would say so at that point. I don't think they're going to give him lower than that. They, again, don't have cap space for $9 or $8 million offers, but I would assume if they got their guy, they wouldn't have signed guys like Nick Cousins to a one-year deal, so that probably wouldn't have happened. It probably would have been in the 6 to 8 range, I would assume, year-wise. I think that was going to happen. I don't think Montreal is going to give him a 2 or 3 year deal. Brayden Point, I don't think would accept that either, so it makes sense. I think Montreal Canadiens definitely gave him a compelling offer, but of course he ended up staying in Tampa Bay, which tells me that the contract negotiations between Tampa and Brayden Point might be going a lot nicer than people may assume. Again, declining that. Sometimes you just don't want to go to Montreal. Again, in Tampa, you have a 60-win team, fantastic team. In Florida, what's not to love right there? I think for the Montreal Canadiens to go after Brayden Point, it's a pretty smart idea. In my personal opinion, I think he's a top 10 center in the NHL. I think he's that good. And if you have any chance to get Brayden Point, you might as well take it. And again, it always was a slim margin. It always was a slim chance. Same thing with Sebastian Aho. But the Montreal Canadiens taking risks, especially on a guy, a center like Brayden Point, is a very smart idea. And again, even if you have a 0.0001% chance of getting him, you might as well take that chance. Now, Mitch Gallo of TSN 690 said that the Montreal Canadiens are setting up for something big. And it makes sense. For the Montreal Canadiens, having that cap space, having that flexibility is huge for them. Not getting a guy like Matt Duchene early in free agency kind of sparked the plug for the Sebastian Aho situation. And after they didn't get him, it seemed like they were always trying to do some next move there to improve their team. And getting a guy like Patrik Laine, he's a goal-scoring beast. And the offense would just improve a little bit. The Patrik Laine to Montreal Canadiens might be a very real possibility, and might be the most realistic offer sheet we could see in this entire NHL offseason. And I'm that serious. Now, since we're thinking offer sheet, David Pagnota, a very reliable source when it comes to the offer sheet so far, says that Patrik Laine is asking for $10 million when it comes to offer sheets. And that makes sense. For a guy like that who's scored so many goals in the past few years, to ask for $10 million, especially in the offer sheet range, isn't surprising whatsoever. And the Montreal Canadiens could be the team that gives that to him. It probably would be a mistake mistake to give him that kind of money, but I think it can definitely happen. And he also reported that the term would probably be a longer term deal, and I would assume so too. Probably in the 6 to 7 range. I think that's what Patrik Laine wants. And if you get $10 million at 7 years or something, that would be a heck of a haul for Patrik Laine especially. The main team that David Pagnotta says that is in on Patrik Laine is the Montreal Canadiens, and this makes a ton of sense. A team that needs scoring but needs on the power play especially, Patrik Laine can definitely bring that in spades. While $10 million for multi-years might not be worth it for Patrik Laine, I think for the Montreal Canadiens, they've been crazy enough so far in this offseason, going after 2 different RFAs offer sheet wise. Patrik Laine might just be the next one. Looking at the Winnipeg Jets right now, they're in a very vulnerable position, especially cap space rise. Right now, they got $22 million in cap space. They got to sign a guy like Kyle Connor too. And if a team like the Montreal Canadiens comes in and gives them an offer sheet of $10 million and for like 7 or 8 years, the Winnipeg Jets might not want to do that kind of contract. They might not want to restrict themselves for that long, especially since they have so many good players and so many contracts that'll come off the books in the next couple of years. And it might be a smart move for them to just take those first round picks and run. You can start to see a little bit of a pattern here with the Montreal Canadiens that they're going after teams with RFAs, star RFAs, that are in a kind of cap crunch and are in kind of vulnerable positions. Got Carolina Hurricanes, who money-wise in the franchise aren't in the best position. The Tampa Bay Lightning, who don't have the biggest money to pay a guy like Brayden Point what he's actually worth, and going after a team like the Winnipeg Jets, who honestly are kind of in the same situation both as Tampa and Carolina, where they don't have the most money in the league, and they can't really spend it all too much either. And a guy like Patrik Laine, yes, he has been the star in that franchise for the last couple of years, but they might just wave goodbye, because if it's $10 million, I'd be pretty surprised if Winnipeg ends up matching it. And Winnipeg, especially with Patrik Laine, has been playing kind of hard to get. They're offering, or it's been reported that they're offering him more lower-term contracts, trying to get him in that $7 to $8 million range, not trying to go big long-term on him, and I think that is definitely worthwhile for the Winnipeg Jets. That's the type of guy that could not age well, and again, that last season was kind of inconsistent from him, and definitely rough to say the least. So for Winnipeg, I can understand why they're not signing him yet, but the Montreal Canadiens could be a team crazy enough to go out and offer sheet him for $10 million, 7 or 8 years. I can definitely see it happening, especially with how many guys they struck out on so far. And again, the Montreal Canadiens are consistently going after these RFAs. Patrik Laine wouldn't surprise me. Kind of like the Toronto Mitch Marner situation, if Winnipeg gets up to a point with this offer sheet that's upwards of 9.5 or $10 million, I wouldn't exactly blame them if they just walk and let him go away to Montreal. And again, Montreal is the type of team that could pull that off. Are you trying with Sebastian Aho? Are you trying with Brayden Point? I could see Patrik Laine potentially being a Montreal Canadian. Obviously, we said that with the Sebastian Aho situation, but if he does end up going to the Winnipeg Jets, and if Montreal ends up giving an offer sheet $10 million, $10 million plus, I could definitely see it happening, and Patrik Laine will be a pretty sweet Hab. At this point, the way it's looking right now, Montreal is pretty much a guarantee to go after Patrik Laine right now. Whether it's an offer sheet, whatever it might be, I think we will see at least Montreal offer an offer sheet. Whether Laine accepts that or if it's enough for his demands, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Montreal has already been crazy enough. Sebastian Aho, obviously now Brayden Point in the past couple of days. Getting a guy like Patrik Laine, I think, is the target for them right now. And for the Montreal Canadiens, if they can pull that off, that'd be pretty sweet for them, even if he might be overpaid at that point. And hey, if it does end up happening, I am all ears. I want this offseason to be as crazy as possible. It has already been pretty entertaining. Obviously, you got Artemi Panarin signing, but you got the Sebastian Aho situation. And if the Montreal Canadiens want to turn this offseason into offer sheet season, I would be pretty happy about that. But of course, with this video, I need to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this whole Montreal and offer sheet situation. And of course, the big question as well, do you think the Montreal Canadiens will offer sheet Patrik Laine? And do you think Patrik Laine will accept? But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my video on the Carolina Hurricanes matching the offers to Sebastian Aho and my complete thoughts on it. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on the Montreal Canadiens and then potentially offer sheeting Patrik Laine. And I'll see you guys next video or stream. Goodbye.